I wonder why it's being a little silly. I see the lighting flickering. I'm not sure why. Let's see here. It's hard to see today. Sometimes the reflections are not intense, but they make it a little bit difficult to see. And then of course I see the, maybe I have to move you, sorry. What's foo? Foo. I don't know why it keeps flickering. Is the lighting flickering? Or is it fine? Because I just started painting now, like within the last 5 minutes or whatever, it takes a little bit, this might be a little bit of a stretch, but it's almost like I need to warm up, like stretching before like a long run or something. So I just start playing around without making any sort of major adjustments. I just get my paints ready and I'm playing around. But for the now I feel like I'm more here, like more present. But for the first 5 minutes, I was just literally tinkering until I kind of became conscious. Took a while for me to actually clue into what I was doing, and so you want to give yourself that time to like get dialed in and check in and feel out the piece and get your hands right. Takes a minute to collect myself and And now I can kind of actually be present with what I'm doing when because today is about, I'm ready to put this piece, ready to finish this piece. So if that's the case, I need to, get my details right and that just takes a little bit for my brain to adjust to catch up to what I'm actually trying to do. And even like to say that out loud is actually kind of important. I'm just trying to finish this piece, and in order to do that, it's just details. I think, like I said, sitting down, I had no idea what I was doing, but then I had to clue into like, right, I know what I'm doing. Details. Yesterday I painted in the morning and I went live with it, so that other stream is up, but then the day progressed and I just put a couple layers of glaze over the entire piece so that I could wake up and come back to it. So I didn't really do much detail work yesterday in the later half of the day, but I did work on it. So it's not, I guess technically this is probably like the 5th or 6th time I've painted the 5th or 6th session on this piece, but actually painting it with conviction or like dedication is probably only the 4th time, as I mentioned in the title of this video. Because when I do a wash over the whole thing, it's not worth even going live or even recording it, because you don't see the immediate effects till later, or just like building up the layers. It's hard to translate that to video. But super necessary. Even though it's not, like I could do I've done, I think, different videos on that already, just washes and glazes, and the impact that it has over time, especially like when you build up the layers. So even though I'm painting right now, like I think what I was trying to say a few moments ago is like, it's not that I'm not here, but I don't really know what I'm trying to accomplish. I am adding small details as I do this. I think what will happen, what normally happens or typically happens, is I'll start to know what I need to do. But I just got to get going here and move some things around. Also, I want to emphasize this butterfly as well. Do I sketch first? No, I sketch with my acrylics though. I sketch with the acrylics. So I was talking about that for a while, but I don't know if you can say technically I draw it out, but I really do. I really believe that I draw out my pieces. I'm all over the map, so I don't have a standard procedure. But for these pieces lately, for the last month or so, I will sketch the painting out with acrylic. So with an acrylic underbody, I will sketch out the painting. Because it's really easy to manipulate, like, you know, when you have a pencil and an eraser, you go back and forth until the subjects look right. I just do that with acrylic. So I draw with the acrylic paint. Obviously that'll dry. I'll put some layers of glaze on it once I start to see something, and then I switch over to oils. So yes, in these pieces, yes, I do draw it out. Not in the conventional sense or the traditional sense with a pencil, but I do map things out with acrylic paint, and I highly recommend that because I'm a much better painter than I am drawer. So if I dedicate some time to sketch things out with acrylic paints and really give it some time, I think that's almost just like I really know that I'm gonna draw this out with my acrylic paints. So I'm just using a paintbrush instead of a pencil, but I do have the same premise of mapping everything out and sketching things out, especially for this one. This one is like, I had a composition and a reference photo at first where I wanted the four heads and like the layout, and then I just let it go, obviously. And I abandoned the reference photo at some point. No, but yeah, I find you can be good at acrylics because it's just adding and subtracting. So obviously, when you paint something and you put it down and it doesn't look right, you at least have a starting point to then assess what doesn't look right. And so then you go back and forth. You add like whites and blacks, and you go back and forth. So you would make your marks of like where the head and eyes are, and then like, oh, the eyes are too high, so then you would paint over it. And with acrylics, you can do that within moments because they dry so fast. And so when you draw with a pencil, you if you made a mistake, you erase it or like redraw the line. It's really the same premise. With the acrylics, you paint something, and if it's not right, you take it away by either painting over it in white or black. But then you also have an underbody, so the reason I like it is because I've already started painting, but I still need to map it out and draw it out with the paints, and I just use acrylic to do that first. And if it's not like a specific portrait that needs to come out super accurate and where the proportions are like really important, it's a really good way to, like, it's very enjoyable. There's not a lot of pressure and there's not a lot of stress, which that's part of my enjoyment of with painting. Like, that's why I pick subjects like this where for me there's not a lot of pressure to have anything. Things for me have to look good and look right to some degree, but I don't care if they look accurate. Especially in this one. With this painting, things have to look accurate. So I'm working on a new war machine kind of painting. And things will have to be accurate. So I have a few references that I go back and forth with, and things have to be proportionate with this. So this has a different bit of a different style, and all I did for this one, I still drew it out with my acrylic paints. So I still actually did what I recommend, at least trying. So instead of a pencil, I mapped this out with a acrylic paint, and but I just spent way more time mapping it out, and I even I think I had more than one session mapping it out with acrylics before I moved to oil, because obviously I'm moving on oil now. And but that's how I draw my paintings out and how I map them and get the composition right. And in this case, accuracy and proportions are really important. I want it to be look obviously like an eagle. I'm not gonna get too caught up in this piece right now. I just wanted to show you where you might need to draw something out. And I still use the technique I'm talking about which is acrylics first, but I just took my time mapping this out way more. Sometimes this is also more of a, can be more, what's the word? Relaxing, because I have a clear mission. The painting underneath right now feels a little less relaxing than this, believe it or not, even though it's way more loose. But here I know what needs to happen from beginning to end. I know what I need to do. So actually, I think this is an important kind of like off-ramp for a second, or a topic, is this painting sometimes is really stressful, getting things right. And when I mean stressful, I just mean more like way more focus and kind of a different mindset, but it can be like, and more of a challenge. However, it's also less, again, I'll just use the word stressful for the time being, less stressful, because I just know what needs to happen at all the stages. At every stage in this painting, I know what needs to happen. There's no surprises. There's no no free will. Like, there's no divergence. But just because it's up, I'll just do a quick glaze for my own sanity, because I'm doing this now. Just going for like a gray wash. A light gray though, not too. I just want some more, because the head will be really important to this piece. So the more layers I can get on there, the more I will benefit, especially down the road. Even if I work on this later today, I want some more layers. But I just want to stay on track for you. So the reason I just quickly did this quick detour, that's the word. I did because this is a different kind of place in my mind compared to the painting that I'm going to go back to in a second. This, I know what needs to happen from beginning to end. I know there's no surprises. I'm repeating myself, but I have it, it's pretty clear in my mind what I'm trying to say. So here, I know where we need to end up. I know what it's going to look like for the most part. And there's no point in the painting where I'm lost or experimenting or taking things in a new direction, or it's way more focused. And that can be quite cathartic or relaxing, because it's not that I'm not thinking, it's almost like a different kind of process, a different kind of thought process. all here you just have to be honest. Is that the bird's eye? Is that the bird's hair? Is that the bird's nose? That's kind of the decision making and the thoughts that I'm having. Does that look good? And because you're doing layers with glazes and light layers, sometimes all you have to do is just get something down to work from in the future. So I'm not even really worried, oh, does this look good or not right now? I'm just by adding some of these colors in now, I know that I'll use them later. I'll benefit from them. Because it just has more details and nuanced and I won't spend too much longer here. I want to finish that piece today if I can. I have a title for it. I was before bed or yesterday, last night. Even the monsters are scared. I think it's on the state of the world, but I thought that was cool. Even the monsters are scared. That's the name of the piece underneath this one. Even the monsters are scared. Same thing here is like, because you don't want to, this is not just white. It's not just a white eagle head. The more depth, you get more depth by adding different grays and darker colors, and then you just keep layering them. And some streaks and brush strokes will stay for ever, and some will get covered up. Another reason why this process is quite relaxing, because I really don't feel at any point I'm making errors. Even if I don't use these brush strokes down the road, they don't feel like errors or like, oh, that can't stay. If anything, I just go, okay, leave it, and then we'll come back later and tidy it up. And remember, when I come back later, it'll be dry to the touch. So I can just move things around right away. Today I'll be able to move any one of these strokes around later on. And before, I'll just say it again. Totally different kind of process mentally. A totally different kind of meditation or relaxation. And so I think I don't have a preference. Oh, I like this better than this style better than the other one, the other piece underneath here. I think it just depends on where I'm at in my day or in my life or in what I'm caught up in. That will kind of determine what I like more. Do I want like this abstract, chaotic portrait that I'm trying to bring together solely from my brain? Or do I want something mapped out for me that I know every step of the way? And I know what I need to do and I know what needs to happen? Or do I want to have chaos and confusion and exploration? Just depends where I'm at. And usually what determines that is like how long I've been painting a few of these over the last couple weeks. So I needed a break, and that's why I went with the painting underneath here. We're doing like little hairs now. The only time you can kind of make a mistake is once you start liking something a lot, you want to try to keep it. But even then, you can, like, if you lose it, you bring it back. So my heart is not pumping right now with nervousness. And I won't let it, otherwise then, again, it's not that fun. Like, no, it's all good. Oh, his eye looked better before, okay. Oh, his beak is too long or too short. Okay, no worries, like, I'll get to it. No rush. You do want his hair to go in the right direction. You know, that's probably important right now. Something to be concerned with or interested in. I want his hair to go the right way. And I want it to be blended. You don't want these hard lines, especially right now. They won't help you. If anything, you want a bit of a blur, especially right now, because I'm not ready to go, okay, here's the final deep. But if there's a streak that looks good, you can leave it. But remember, in an hour or two, these will be dry to the touch. Yellow needs more layers, so the more layers you can get on here now, the better, especially for later today or the next session. So if I'm just looking at myself and I zoom out a little bit, even on myself, it's nice to have both these pieces kind of happening simultaneously. I wasn't anticipating even live streaming this because I want to finish the other piece. That was my goal. But then I just wanted to share the difference in styles and what the different effects they have on me. And what the pros and cons are of both a mapped out painting and a painting that's completely surreal and imaginative, and it requires exploration and improvisation and riffing, as our friend here said yesterday or whatever. Riffing. Anyways, oh, what's up, Blue Sky? Thank you. That's cool. Oh, that's awesome. Sorry, I wasn't looking at my phone. Really cool. Nay, thank you. Blue Sky, I appreciate it. Oh, there, okay. That's so cool. Thank you. It was nice because I wasn't looking at my phone and then I saw it, so I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. Put a little pep in my brush. Let me make a couple more marks on here and then I want to put it away. But I am happy I put some more energy into this so I can let it dry. Like certain things like this don't take as much, don't take as many layers. Something like this head where it's basically the focal point, you want to dedicate some time to it, and you don't want to rush. So the best thing I can do is just give it a little time and give it a little bit of energy, because I know that this eagle head is the most important thing. So it does not hurt to give it some attention, because it's going to need more attention. So you want to build that up. The way to give something like real love in regards to a painting is not like one time for a really long time. Ideally, you'd want to build it up over time. Sometimes I don't always have that option, right? But in general, if I can choose, I want to give this a lot of love, but over the course of a couple days, not in one shot. It'd be really hard for me to get to where I am right now in one shot. I need dry time. I need time to think. I need time to get regrounded. I do not want to try to paint this in one, and I don't ever really have to make myself do that, so that's not really a factor. But definitely if I had to, like, oh, you got to finish an eagle head in a day, that does not interest me or excite me. No, it can be done. It's just a different mindset. All right, I'm going back. Say goodbye to the eagle, the war machine. Okay. So the difference is, you can kind of see this influence, right? But like even the way that this is a great example. After, one more time. This eagle beak, there's a rhyme and reason and direction. This, I'm going to call it bird beak, is totally it's totally improv. And I don't care, right? Like I was saying yesterday, it has to be good, but it doesn't have to be right. Whereas in the painting I just showed you, it has to be right. Like you can't, like, it's, especially for that piece. Like sometimes I'll do pieces that everything is right except a few things. So some of the paintings I will do is, like, I'll have a lot of structure, and then there'll be a few elements that are just off. In the piece that I was just working on, everything has to be kind of on in order to achieve what I'm looking for. With this, like, I can put 2 holes here. I don't care. It just has to look good. And sometimes by doing weird things, like I'm talking out loud, so it sounds like it, but, like, no, doing weird things can actually start to help me out. I think now too is that you start picking out things in the piece that you're just not happy with. I think actually I have to say that I don't like. And then you kind of work on them. Not even fix it, just work on them. Kind of think I want her to have vampire teeth. How much of this face do you want to lose into the shadow? Sometimes that's experimental because you might take away too much and you might need to bring it back. How much face do you want to lose here into the shadow? How much do you want to see? How much don't you want it? How much do you want to take away? You might take away too much, you bring it back. Here you can see the journey and the difference. There is a lot of unconsciousness in this, and, like, just painting for the sake of it, and then you build off of that exploration. There's something about this face that I do appreciate. So I don't need to, like, cover it all. Like, I'm not in that stage where I'm just destroying everything. As I mentioned earlier, I'm ready to put this piece to bed, but I know it needs some detail and some more love. But there still could be some pretty dramatic shifts if something's just not working for me. I don't mind going at this. I still don't mind going at this, like, pretty hard, meaning, like, if there needs to be some major adjustments, I'm open. And I think the difference is, again, compared to the other painting style and the other piece, is, like, what adjustments do I need to make in this? I have no idea. No idea. I'm just going. Compared to the eagle, I know exactly what needs to happen. And especially after, like, when I go back to the painting again, I have a kind of a bit of a new perspective, a fresh perspective, so I can see, oh, the eagle's mouth is off. the nose hole is too big, the hair's not right, the feet aren't, like, the feet need work. Here, I don't have that same mindset at all. Because it's kind of like nothing's right anyway. Like, yeah, I don't know. Does she need more shadow here? Just doing it. I do see some things, like I don't want to lose, I like this eye, the shape. I like how this eye isn't like bright white. I like this guy quite a bit actually, but I don't know what's going on with him. I like this butterfly idea. I don't know if it's a tattoo or a real butterfly. You see the totally different mindset. And it's pretty fun to work on both simultaneously. You did like different sessions in one day, different mindsets. What do you like better? Do you like to have things mapped out from the jump with very little wiggle room, or do you like to just play and have no preferred outcome until you see it, like where you're like, okay, I like this, I'm done, and then I abandon it? Or do you like to do both? Like, what are you gonna, if you're gonna start a project, what's, here's another reason why, like, I could never do murals with this style, because it just keeps evolving. Like, so I could never show someone like an idea, and then for me to paint this again the same way, oh, I just couldn't. I couldn't, because it's just a matter of, I could paint the composition the same, but the actual figures would be really challenging for me to go, okay, I'm gonna paint her mouth like this again. Yeah, right. It's like, that was just a discovery. Even the monsters are scared. Thought that title was great. Thought about it. If I do say so myself. No, but I was thinking about it yesterday, they just all look like monsters, but they look frightened. They don't even look like they're out for blood. They just look like, oh, times are weird. We're frightened. Why won't someone think of the monsters? Anyone old enough to remember Little Monsters? Times are weird. Nay. I just love how it's like you just happen. Yeah, that's kind of this process, Nay, is like a matter of really dedicating yourself, like knowing I'm going to paint multiple layers. What you saw when I first started, knowing that it's going to change, and just keep adding little layers over and over again. And you're kind of forming, like I'm forming making this a little rounder, bringing some more like kind of peach. But I just love how they start compounding, like glazed layers start compounding, and they look so pretty, like especially the skin colors, in certain areas. Some areas, yes, I wouldn't call it pretty, but I do like this abstract kind of combination of skin color. But I only get that from adding layers in slowly over and over and over again. Right now I have 2 palettes. Actually, I have like 3 or 4, but the ones that I'm using right now. I have another palette that's black. Those are my palettes. Okay, I think you get it. And this is important. This brand is important for the glaze. I've never used another one. And then as far as oil paints, I don't care. Whatever you can get. Over time, there's certain paints that you actually, like a brush, you just prefer this yellow. I don't even know what brand it is, but I just like this yellow. So you'll have preferences like that. I have preferences like that, but I don't care what brand it is. Plus, I'm in Thailand, so there's not really, it's a bit of a different game. So sometimes it's whatever you can get. I also don't care so much about color too. Like what I can add any color on here right now, and I like that. So it's because someone was asking me about color a little while ago. Like, I don't really care about the colors. The values are important, obviously, but the color to me, especially for this kind of piece, not important. Like, you could pick any color right now. Go for it if someone's listening. Pick any color and I'll add it in here. It just doesn't, it's not going to change it at all. I might water it down, like dilute it to fit it, but it's like the paints are kind of that fall in the same category. Some paints in 100 years, we're like, oh wow, you should have used Winsor Newton instead of, but I just don't think like that. I do have, I get used to things because oil paints last forever. So I know how certain paints react. And you know, like this red is so translucent. Like, it's basically like you almost don't need liquid for it. It's so, but I really like it. I like building up with it, and it's the red that I've used for this entire piece. So here it is, just straight out of, and it looks kind of opaque, but it's not. It's very translucent. And then when you add liquid to it, which you got to, because it actually dries quite slow, so you need liquid. Otherwise it won't be dry later today. And remember, I need this dry later today because I'll probably work on this piece again tonight and hopefully can wrap it up by then. Maybe not, but maybe. I think I just want to give this a little more time to see if anything else comes to life in it. What else is happening here? Is it just as simple as this, like these ghouls that are frightened? Or is there more happening here? I'm really not sure. Maybe this is all it is. This kind of family portrait of monsters and that are frightened of the future. You're that old for little monsters? Do you ever perfect? You're using oils? I thought it was acrylics. Yes, I use acrylics in the beginning. And then I switch over at some point when the underbody's finished. I move over to oils. You can't go the other way, just to be very clear. You can't paint in oils and then switch over to acrylics. You'll see cracking and flaking right away. I think with abstract art you might get away with it, but even then you probably want to stay away. So I do have some rules in that regard. Like you can put a good underbody in acrylic, even layer it and use an acrylic glaze, like an acrylic medium, and then once you're happy with the base, the foundation, you start flipping over to oils. That's kind of the whole, and I was talking earlier about that's how I draw out my paintings. Instead of using a pencil and eraser, I draw and map out my pieces with acrylic paint. And so you can even, I think the first video I did with this painting in mind, like, so the first stream I did of this painting was all acrylic, and you can see me mapping it out if you're interested. It's quite boring, but it's there. You'll just see me drawing out. And I really, even though I'm painting, I would still say I'm drawing. Like, I'm just drawing with acrylic paint, that's all. Because it's really the same idea. I'm just mapping out everything, and instead of using like a pencil, I'm just using black and whites or, you know, a couple colors to draw it. Because I go back and forth. Oh, this isn't right. Oh, the head's more tilted and so fast, and acrylic dries so fast that putting an underbody in acrylic paint is a really great way to draw it out. Later, Nay. Appreciate you. One downside of glazing is it does pick up a lot of hair. So try to, I hate, like, pretty OCD about that kind of stuff. However, it'll drive me nuts, but it's just like, it's kind of part of the process. Like, there's just hair is gonna get in it, dust is gonna get in it, no matter what you do. Like back in the day when I used to use resins and stuff, epoxy, you'd pour like a coat of resin and you'd just see all this stuff inside of it. And then there's obviously techniques to help you avoid that, and you know, and then there's high level resin stuff where you probably have like a room dedicated, airtight, sealed. But if you're just pouring in your basement, you're just gonna have stuff in it. guess maybe what we'll do, I'm inclined to see what happens here if I I'm gonna tidy up the hair a bit, or make it more distinctive, I guess. Same with her. So now I think it's in my best interest just to get a little bit heavy with you might just see some pretty dramatic changes right now. I'll try to explain as I go. So I just hit a wall where I was circling and circling with dabbing paints on and just adding layers, which is kind of the MO. But now I hit a place where, do I love the entire painting overall? It's okay. It's interesting. I like the name. Even the monsters are scared. I like certain elements. However, I want to change it up. And how I'm going to do that is kind of stick to the original idea, but we're just going to add more glazes. But the glazes are going to be darker. Why? Because I want to be more dramatic. I don't want to lose detail necessarily, but I'm willing to sacrifice some if I must. So I got my browns, my purples, my blues, all dark values. Lots of liquid. Let's get some red in there. So it's going to be like a purpley wash. And I don't want you to be able to see this very much. I want to, let's even add some black there. Same with here. I want it to be, I don't want you to see here. Yeah, like yeah. Yeah. So what happens is it creates this, I don't know about illusion, but let me just say illusion for now, where like the shadows merge with the subjects and you kind of can't see where the subject and the shadows merge or where they overlap. So you get this really dramatic lighting happening. And I want that. You will lose some of what you've done though. But as you see my pace, I'm not frantic. I'm not losing my mind, but I did make a decision all of a sudden to get more shadow going. And I do know that I can, if I really make a mistake where I'm like, damn, I really covered up something that just now doesn't look right, you can go back and you can wipe it off. You can go back and you can wipe it off. I'm getting a little dramatic right now, but that's because I really want to change some things. So it's conscious and unconscious. You're witnessing the merging of both. So I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what's going to happen fully. And then you can slow it down, calm down, calm down. Calm down. Get crazy. Calm down. Get crazy. And then what happens is it just work with what you've done. You might not even like this at first, but then you just work with what you've done. And why I did that is because I just wasn't 100% satisfied with where I got things. So as I was putting on details for the last hour, I'm like, okay, I'm putting on details here, the teeth, like the little marks, but it's not coming to a place where I feel like it's going to be finished. So I needed to add some more. I needed it needed adjustments. That's all. It needed more. So these marks in here, like, right? Like I'm just move them around a bit. That's all. I do want them sunken, right? Like sunken into the piece. And you can like add little marks for definition. You don't have to lose everything, right? You can show where the face is with little marks. And I like that. I like that style. I like that. Because sometimes, like, pulling away not only detail, but like some of the obvious, pulling away the obvious can take your painting to new levels. Because you're leaving some things up to interpretation and imagination. And you can play in the darkness, right? You're playing in the shadow. Very, I love that. I love it playing in the darkness, in the shadows. Kind of can't make any mistakes. When you make a blunder, like when you take it off the rails or take it off the track, then you can just go back. But now it has a new life because compared to where it was 10 minutes ago. And you're gambling too. There's a bit of it's gambling. Oh man, it was so much better 10 minutes ago. Well, I think that's where experience comes in, to where you might say that or feel that, but you just know if you keep going, it'll turn out awesome. Or it'll turn out where you're happy with it. Even if you go, oh, I love it, I loved it 10 minutes ago, way better. Just keep going. And then even if you were right, even if 10 minutes ago was better, next time you paint, all that data should be downloaded and you can learn from it. You're like, oh no, leave this here. This is really good and I don't want to mess it up. So I'll avoid this. That's why, like, I didn't wash over here. I didn't put a lot of dark glaze over here. I want to keep it. I like it. This works for me. I did wash really heavy here. Same with her. Like I'm okay. I'm really okay with moving her any direction. It's not that I'm not sold on her. I'm just open for her to morph and mutate in front of my very eyes and play with that and move that around. Also okay for things really not to make sense, especially for this piece. And then you'd say, like, why? Like, how is that possible? It's because I just showed you the other painting I'm working on where you can't afford to do that. You can't afford to have things not make sense. So this painting, you have a lot of liberty to make things nonsensical and even non-proportional or confusing. But you want them to be, as always, you want it to be good. That's kind of one of the rules. Like, it has to be good. It's fine if it doesn't make sense. Disproportionate, but good. Like this tongue, I'm fine with however it looks, as long as it looks good. If it's not right and it's not accurate, but does it look good, then I'm good. You know, one thing is, I think when I see great painters, they can make things that that don't make sense, but they make them look good. So you're like, well, that doesn't make sense logically or physically, but it looks good. It looks like that's the way. Like if you saw a photo of pretty much anything, and something looks off, it doesn't change the photo. It's just, oh, something's off there. Her legs look weird. The building looks strange. That's an odd photo because things look weird, but you still call it a photo. You can still understand. I think that's kind of like one of the magic abilities of some great painters is that they can make things, even if they don't make sense, they can still make them look good. And I think that's just a matter of giving things the care and the attention they need in order for that to be accomplished. That's where like a nice pace would come into play, where you're not rushing, you're just enjoying it and building and bringing things to life slowly, seeing what needs attention and Very easy to tone these blue streaks that I'm doing. Just wanted some blue in here. You know, the initial thought it's like spit or drool, but then I just like the color a lot. So let's get it in there. No rhyme or reason, but just figure out how to work it in. I want some blue. It's as simple as that. Crazy, right? But you can do it. Figure it out. It's like a math problem. Something's too striking or just doesn't work, you can move it around. But now you got some blue and these blue little just felt like it needed to be colder, or wanted some more to be a little more dynamic, and wanted to change some of the palette. I have a lot of purple in here, believe it or not, and I just think let's get away from the purple. And add some of this blue in here. Remember, these are really light glazes. These are very not aggressive. Even if they look aggressive at first, they're very subtle. Okay, I'm ready actually. All right, stay tuned. I gotta eat. See you later, guys. Toodles.